Good morning, viewers, and welcome to Now Streaming Show live on ACNN TV. I am Somtochukul Okizu, your anchor. This morning, we'll focus on the issues shaping daily lives for millions of Nigerians: security, infrastructure, power supply, and the economic stories that are trending not just online but on the streets, in homes, and across the country. We begin with the proposed and demolition of shops at the Onitsha main market by Professor Soludo, the governor of Anambra State. What economic impact will this action have on the traders and the state? What should the government do to gain the public confidence in disobeying the sit-at-home order by IPOB? At the same time, security concerns remain a major national worry. A recent report has warned that banditry and kidnapping are now fueling what experts describe as a growing ransom economy in Nigeria. Families and communities are increasingly forced to raise money to secure the release of loved ones, creating a dangerous circle that weakens law enforcement and emboldens criminal networks. Beyond the emotional trauma, the economic impact is severe, draining household savings, discouraging investments, and deepening fear across affected regions. Another issue dominating conversation this morning is Nigeria's persistent power crisis. Repeated collapse of the national electricity grid have once again plunged part of the country into darkness, disrupting businesses, schools, hospitals, and everyday life. The cost of unreliable power continues to weigh heavily on small businesses and households already struggling with high energy prices. Energy experts warn that without sustained investment and structural reforms, grid instability will remain a recurring problem with long-term consequences for national productivity. When the stories are viewed together, power, security, and the economy, the it paints a clear picture of a nation at a crossroad. Progress in one sector cannot stand alone. Sustainable development requires stability, accountability, and coordinated actions across all fronts. Viewers, I'm not alone in the studio. I have my co-anchor with me.
Chinedu, blessing. Good morning. How are
Thank-
you?
I'm fine. Thank you for being with me this morning.
Okay.
And also with us in the studio is Prince Kennedy Ahanotu, who is the national youth leader of the Labour Party. Thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Good morning, Nigerians. Thank you for having me.
All right, and also joining us virtually later from Delta State is Prince Gus Time, who is a member of the Delta State ADC leadership team. Thank you and welcome for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
All right, viewers, please remember you can be a part of our conversation by calling the number showing on your screen or sending us your comments via any of our social media platforms also showing on your screen. And briefly, before we go into our major discussions we have for you this morning, let's take a quick look at some of our Nigerian dailies that came in early. Over to you,
Okay.
my co-anchor.
I'm with the Punch newspaper. So looking at page 43, bandits kill 30 in fresh Kwara Kastina attacks. And then in page 2, genocide accusation. US Congress panels hold news section on Nigeria today. And the major news is electricity subsidy. FG to deduct 3.6 trillion from Federation accounts as FG begins sharing of power subsidy burden with states, local governments, and 1.2 trillion to be deducted yearly. We find that on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. And in page 43, NPO to Tinubu regulate foreign platforms or lose Nigerian media. We also have in page 2, convention shutdown. PDP governors resist Wike's bloc's move to dismantle committees. Over to you.
All right, thank you so much. And we'll be looking at the Vanguard newspaper this morning. And just beside the masthead there, we have the PDP clash, the Makinde and Wike fight dirty. This story we can find on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper, and just OP is named the Sun's first ever fintech digital company of the year. This story we can find on page 48. And that's like the major story we have on the Vanguard newspaper this morning. And we quickly look at the Guardian newspaper. And below the masthead there, we have a story on page 3 that says, "No retreat on reforms, Tinubu tells World Bank." And also on page 3, still on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper, the US military sends teams as bandits kill over 25 in Castina. And on page 6, still on the Guardian newspaper, we have the PDP crisis depends as Wike-backed factions dissolve structures. Makinde warns against hijack. And lastly, the story we have to take on the Guardian is a story on page 6 that says Senate delays stalls electoral reforms as group warns of risk to democracy. As this is all we have to take on this morning on our Nigerian dailies that came in early, so we encourage you to please get any of the stories that interest you, any of the papers that interest you, and read any of the stories to get informed with our daily happenings in our society. And moving on to the major story, which is the demolition that has been marked at the Onitsha main market in Anambra State. Okay, we have a video to play this morning, and after that video, we'll delve into the conversation. Please stay with us.
So, Onitsha traders defied Soludo's order to open shop today, Monday, February 2nd, 2020.
This main market, if you don't want it to open, I'll come and take bulldozer and level it.
So, Onitsha traders defied Soludo's order to open shop today, Monday, February 2nd, 2026, and continued to sit at home. This is a situation report. Just watch the video.
Oh, main market Onitsha. This is Williams. From minutes to 8. Hold on. This is New Market Road. This is New Market Road. This is Edison Plaza. Banks are actually open for business. As you can see, some shops are open. This is the...
Good evening, Onyobuna, everybody. Good evening, everybody. Tatabo, 1st of February, 2026. Biko, Governor anyị amaki gokwa ahịa o. Ihe amaki kwa bụ ọma ndị mma. Ihe amaki bụ ọma ndị mma. From ebe a kịta demolish. Good evening, sir. Sido. Good evening. Papa, good evening. Eforia. Ebe a niile kịta demolish. Ebe nnọ kịta bụ na bright. Remove. Na shop shido niile. Plaza shido niile. Remove. N'ime shop remove. Amaki ilu mark ya everywhere remove. Remove. Ada ya dofu. Okay. Abụọkwa obere ihe o. Abụọkwa obere ihe o. Ma n'ime shop mmadụ. Ma building na remove. Amara na building na sọrọ ya. Building na asọkasịrị ya arụ normalọ. Ọ dị mma. Everywhere remove wee gbago. So ọ ga-adịkwa egwu. Onye fụ shop ya ewekwe n'iwe. Efori ya, Muche China Plaza remove. Nekwa date enye on 14th of
Before staying tuned with us, this is still the Now Streaming Show coming to you live from the Advent Cable Network Nigeria here in the nation's capital. And I'll be your anchor this morning, Some Tochikolo Kizu. So we just played a breather of a video of an amateur video, obviously, from the indigenes of Anambra State, particularly residing in Onitsha. And there was an incident that took place 2 weeks ago, where the governor of Anambra State, the person of Chukwuma Soludo, came to Onitsha main market and realized that it was still closed, and he gave an announcement and a warning that the shop will remain closed for that week, and he will give them an opportunity to correct their mistakes next week. And if they still choose not to come out, he's also going to close the shops again. And obviously he's willing to do that for the rest of the year. And for those that will disobey, that he's willing to bring in bulldozers to the marketplace and demolish their shops. So we'll just take a quick we'll just look at what really happened and now backdate it to where we are at the moment. And I would want to start with you this morning, Prince, for this incident happened a few weeks ago, where the governor came to Onitsha with securities. It's been more like a culture in the southeast that on Monday, particularly in Anambra State, everyone stays back at home. And then on this particular day, he said who gave that order, and he's going to come out to supervise and be sure that everyone comes out. And at the end of the day, he came and noticed that the markets were totally closed. And then he made a declaration, a pronouncement as a governor of the state, that for that week, for disobeying his instruction, the markets are going to remain closed, and he's going to do it again next week if they choose not to adhere to his instruction. So concerning that in particular, let's begin from there. What do you have to say about the act the governor took?
Well, I didn't hide my feeling towards such rascality. That was what I see it as, because they are not employed under the state government. They pay their taxes, they own their shops. And for governor to just wake up one morning and came to the market announcing that the market will be closed for a week, I think that is the height of insubordination. That is the height of, rascal use of power. And Soludo didn't realize just that Monday that there had been sit at home. Sit at home has been happening. What has he done to stop it? Yeah. People try to come to the market. It's not as if people don't have intention to come to the market. But in several instances, when people come to the market, they were attacked, they will be killed, nothing will happen. Nothing will happen. And Soludo, the governor will say, we'll look into this. Police will say, we'll look into this. And nothing will be done. Yeah. This happened repeatedly because a typical Igbo man is interested in his business. Yes, he wants to go and get his money. Definitely. So it is not their intention, to stay back on Mondays. Yeah. Do you know that Soludo would have started from public schools? Yes. That he directly in control of.
His responsibility.
Is his direct
Education,
responsibility,
yes.
education.
Yes.
He would have started with public schools, insist that public schools must open
Yeah.
by giving visible security,
Yes.
make people see that there is security on ground.
Yeah.
Put security on the street every Monday.
Yeah.
Put security in these schools every Monday.
Yeah.
Reassure citizens
Yeah.
that their welfare, their
And
life,
safety.
and safety is
Okay.
okay.
Yes.
When you are done with schools, you go to the banks. So many banks don't open on Mondays in
Yeah.
the southeast. Okay?
Yeah.
Even Soludo that is talking, many courts, except the ones in the state capital,
Okay.
don't open on Mondays. What has Soludo done about it? There are many parasitic government offices that don't open on Mondays. What has Soludo done about it? So, but this brings us to a point where I feel that the insincerity of our people in governance are becoming too obvious. Within the past 1 week, you've seen the outplay of power, what Soludo actually intended to do.
Yeah.
He came to that market with a bulletproof vehicle,
With army,
with
police.
plethora of security facilities.
Yeah.
He came to that market. If Soludo believed that he is one Mwambafo, as he usually call himself, and he loved by his people,
Yeah.
why come to the market with those kind of security gadgets? Why? Is a market, is he supposed to be show of force?
Yeah.
Why is he coming with security? Yeah, and we must be able to be accountable with whatever we do in life.
Yeah.
You are ruling the people of Anambra State. You are not their God and personal savior.
Yeah.
And if you are their governor, have you seen where governors move around in other countries of the world? They move around and have handshakes
Yeah,
with
true.
their people because they are governing the people. They are not governing,
Yeah.
objects. They are governing people. You have handshake with them. But look at what happened that even the day he came back on Monday, that he wants to see if they complied, there are security, DSS. You see, this is high level of insincerity by our leader. So, in number one, I made a video and I tagged him in that video.
Yeah.
That this is wrong. That is he doing the right thing or doing the wrong thing? He should ask himself. That this market and traders are not, they are afraid. They don't even trust Soludo security.
Yeah.
Because if they trust the government, they will be coming out without fear or favor. They will be coming out to do their businesses and make there are so many of them that survives based on daily,
what they
income.
make in a day. Yes.
Those wheelbarrow pushers,
True.
those keke riders,
Definitely.
all those informal sector in that market, they survive. The akara fryer, the woman that fries akara and buns,
Yes.
that does pap, those fast food, they survive based on their daily income. And Soludo, being an inconsiderate leader, he stabbed them for 1 week. Is that being sensible as a government? No. He's not being sensible. If Soludo meant well, why didn't election just finished about 2 or 3 months ago?
Yes.
If Soludo meant well and he's a good Mwambafo, why didn't he do this
Before
October
his
last year?
re-election.
Why didn't you do it September last year? Why didn't you do it August last year? Is it today that Solu realized that Onitsha market has not been opening? So for me, it's further betrayed the fact that our leaders are so insincere.
Yeah.
They want to do everything they want to do in a very, hidden, they have a hidden agenda. And that is why it's difficult for citizens to trust their leaders. And that is why if you become a governor, you are afraid of your own
People.
kinsmen. I was in Enugu one certain time. I saw one prominent politician coming home and going to attend the village meeting with his kinsmen. And he entered the place with, if you see security. The kinsmen stood up and said, we are no longer doing meeting, oh, please. You can't come where we are having meeting, village meeting, with this number of security, and they're coming into the hall with you. That is not possible. They stood up and said, let's leave you with your security men. The man now withdrew and said, they say, no, those security men have to go outside the gate. They don't have to come into the school, the hall, the compound. Let them go and stay outside. These are your kinsmen. You grew with them. So if I am doing well and I'm a good citizen, what changes when I become a governor?
Yeah.
Will my friend no longer be my friend? Will my colleagues, those I attended university with, will they stop to be my colleagues? Were they no longer my friends? Why will I now be afraid of the same street
Yeah, you once grew
I
up.
once grew up? I walk, I always walk across the street. Why am I now afraid? It's because of the insincerity of government.
Sir,
All right. Okay. Yeah.
So don't you think that if this sit at home ends, it's going to add some economic benefits to the Southeast or to Anambra?
Look, I'm not saying what I'm saying to say that they sit at home. I'm not encouraging it.
Okay.
In all honesty, it's not as if I'm defending sit at home. What I'm saying is that the approach with which the governor wanted to enforce people to come out is wrong. Sit at home is an agitation of a certain thing that a certain people want. Okay? How far have government gone into looking into those things that those people are agitating for? Because government must be ready to negotiate and discuss with these citizens. If the citizens said, okay, we don't want to fight, we don't want to carry gun, but every Monday we'll sit back. It's a form of protest. Yes. It's a form of protest. Look at what is happening now. When workers want to protest, they'll go to court and get injunction to stop workers from protesting. You are killing people. You are destroying. You are not paying them salary. You are forcing them to come to work. And if they say they will not come for 1 week, you go and get court order to enforce them to come to work. Does it make sense? Tell me that it makes sense to you.
It
doesn't make sense.
It seems our leaders and even our people, we prefer, that strong hand.
No, it's a lie. It's a lie.
Before we can.
No, it's a lie. Our people, our citizens don't like force. It's a reputation of,
a failed
system that is making people to now become agitate.
All right, viewers, please, we encourage you to be a part of our conversations, particularly those in the Southeast and most especially those in Anambra State. You could call in and share your thoughts with us. Let's know the situation of things happening in your locality. And we want to also welcome Prince Goldstein joining us all the way from Delta State. Prince Goldstein, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much.
All right, just also your thoughts on what happened in Anambra State a few weeks ago, and we are aware that the Delta State and Anambra State shares the same border, and during this period of sit at home, I can't categorically say if movement from probably Delta to Anambra is seamless, or there's usually like a pause of, because whatever it is that affects Onitsha, most especially, affect some of the traders that come in from Asaba to Anambra State to trade in Onitsha and all of that. So I want to ask you, from your own standpoint, what can you say about the action of the governor of Anambra State last week, closing down the main market hub of Anambra State for 1 week because of the disobedience of its citizens or its indigents? In respecting his instruction of them coming out on Monday?
Well, first and foremost, I want to say that governance is not by force. A responsible government will have a people-oriented policy that the people would naturally embrace in the first instance. Now, to the main issue.
Okay.
It affects us as people. It is the price of goods and commodity on the high side, because Onitsha market serves as our market hub in Delta State. So we are unable to go to Onitsha to get goods and services as make life really unbearable for us in Delta State. But that aside, let's go to the main issue. You see, this the acts and attitude of Governor Soludo, who calls himself Mr. Solution, a professor at that, and it shows that our leadership system is rotten. The act of Soludo is highly irresponsible, arrogant, and show of unnecessary force. In the first instance, what a good leader should do is look into the circumstances surrounding the action. The sit at home did not begin today, like my brother Jay in the studio earlier said. This has been an issue that has been on ground. And what are they doing? The sit at home is a protest. Protests, according to Omoyele, protests can take any form, either by running, either by sleeping, either by jumping, just as the case may be. And you must understand that these governments, this very regime has criminalized physical protest
Yes.
in the form of picketing and occupying the streets. And sitting at home say, oh, because we want this demand to be met. Every Monday in the Southeast is a protest. And what were their demands? For the past few years, their demands have been unable to look into. That is to say, we don't have a government that have empathy, that feel the pulse of the people. We don't have a government that prioritize the people. Just imagine a whole of Southeast, a geopolitical region, has been on sit-at-home for years, but yet the issues surrounding the sit-at-home have been unable to be addressed. We must understand that this issue of sit-at-home revolve around the what's called Nnamdi Kanu, his trials and all of that. And if the governments of Nigeria actually love the people of Southeast, feel that no, you people don't have a reason to agitate, that oh, let us make you people comfortable. What are your demands? Let us look into your demands. And they are so important. The issue behind the sit-at-home must have been addressed before now, but because they feel that the Southeast is just like a dot, it's not a people that they should prioritize. That is why you are saying that they are not taking their issue so seriously.
I want to know what you think, what economic impact is this act going to have on the citizens or indigents of Anambra State?
Well, the economic impact is highly negative and it is huge. It is beyond Anambra State alone. It affects states like Rivers State, Delta State, and other neighboring states that rely on the Onitsha markets on daily basis. For those of us that are in Delta, and I know how negativity it is affecting our people here in Delta, because the complaints are high. Aside Onitsha market, the only market that we use in sorting goods and services is Aba, and there is no direct transport and vehicle from Aba down to Delta. So now you see this very act, this act of the governor, it has no economic benefits to the people of Anambra State. In fact, the model and the market building that he's trying to pitch to the public, they are all lies. What they are trying to use Governor Soludo to achieve is to stop the sit-at-home in the Southeast. And they believe that immediately they stop the sit-at-home exercise in Anambra State, it's going to lapse out amongst other states within the Southeast. So these people at the center, they are trying to use Governor Soludo, having realized that he has been re-elected for his last term, and whatever he do, we have no nothing on his political career anymore, because if he was a first-time governor, he won't be bold enough to do that. He won't be this arrogant the way at which he's going about it. He must understand that the way at which he's going about this thing is a show of unnecessary force and arrogance. And you earlier asked that other governments elsewhere, they wake up on daily basis, then close up, come for demolition. It is just normal. Nigerians, we are naturally power hungry people. Our leadership system, instead of service, they want to lead instead of service. A leader should be somebody that serves the public interest. But no, what these leaders now do, they now serve their personal interest. Then at best, they serve their elite interest. That is why you see what they are doing. The elites they are coming together from east, west, and north and center. And the people that are affected by all of this misgovernance are those of us in the grassroots and the middle class. So we are still going to expect more of this as the day goes by.
Okay.
As far Nigeria is not liberated, until there is a political revolution in Nigeria whereby we install a people-oriented government, a government that is dedicated to service, that is when all of this is going to end. But for now, we'll continue. According to the Gen Z, they say we move.
Prince, God's time. Since this demolition is really going to cause a lot of problem, could you please suggest?
One thing I'm certain about is that there will be no demolition. I know the people of Anambra State, they are highly resilient people. You can see the character and the attribute that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu exhibits on national TV, even in the courtroom. You know that Anambra people are strong-willed people. They are not pushovers. Governor Soludo is not going to win this battle. This is Governor Soludo is allied against the people of Anambra, and the people of Anambra's win is going to prevail. Now, our brother in the studio have acknowledged that the chairman of the market has resigned. That's a very strategic move. We don't want to be named as the one that's leading the pack against the people. You know that this sit-at-home is a social disobedience, it's a protest, and there's going to be more protests. If these people are trying to be tactical with their protests and you want to push them to the wall, that means you are asking for more. Let's watch out. More things are going to unveil itself. Governor Soludo, Professor Soludo is not going to succeed in that demolition. It is a statement of fact. You can watch. The days are coming.
All right. Thank you so much for that wonderful comment. And you've said so much about leadership, and also pointed to 2027, which is where everyone is looking at, because throughout this year there will be no more governance. It's strictly going to be campaigns and re-elections. And you're a member of the Delta State ADC leadership team, and we know the faction that it's cooking up with the ADC. So what can you tell us about this coalition that the ADC has created or has made? Because up till now, there is still no clear picture of who the ADC will be pushing out to us as their running mate for come 2027, and a lot of stories are going off, because it's like 30 governors are standing with the president as against the 36. So that the power tussle is really high. So what does the ADC have to offer us come 2027?
First of all, in your opening remark, where you're trying to bring forward this question, you said there was fashion in ADC. I want to correct you. There's no fashion in ADC anywhere, not in Nigeria, not in Delta.
No, sorry, that was not intentional. Sorry about that.
That is what I then you see what the ADC is not just a party, as you have said, is a coalition, and the coalition, they are trying to take side with the people. Then you mentioned 30 governors in the APC, and you know that with what happened in 2023, you must have realized that elite politics has practically faded away from our political system. These governors, though they have the economic power, but they do not have the people on their side. They cannot practically influence the vote of the people to the direction at which they want it to be directed, except they want to do what happened in Rivers State in 2023, which will not be allowed to happen again. Now, for example, in 2023, Senator Dr. Ifeanyi Otuokwa was the governor of Delta State and was the PDP vice presidential candidate. He lost in his Agbo town to Peter Obi of the Labour Party at that time. And Peter Obi won Delta State in a landslide. The APC was struggling to have 20%, while the PDP came a distant third at the presidential election. And if you realize, after the presidential election, you notice that they were not even campaigning. They were not campaigning to the obedient and Labour Party people, whereby you see this daughter of the governor chanting Labour Party, Mama, Papa, Pikin. That is to tell you that our politics took a drastic positive shape in 2023. And come 2027, with the level of misgovernance and the level at which these elites, they are hovering and coming around, coming together to suppress the people, it is crystal clear that what is going to happen in 2027 is going to be more than what happened in 2023. Now, I have to be factual with you. The ADC is going to form the next government in 2027. And by the special grace of God, why you say that there is no candidate, I want to tell you the physique of the candidate of the ADC contest for presidency is going to be somebody that is youthful at heart, in mind, and in look. He's going to be an highly resourceful person, a responsive and responsible person in 2027. forget about whoever that is going to be our candidacy. We have all of that sorted. But you know that when you are in a room with a criminal, you have to act deceptive. This is politics for crying out loud. And we have to be political to these people. We have to be political to these people. Where they assemble both 30 governors, they are now assembling Obi Kubana in the southeast to be their mobilizers for City Boys movement. The people are going to come together. It is a certain fact that the oppressed, because now the entire policy affects those of us in the downline. And if you do your maths well, you know that both the poor and the middle class, they are in the majority. The elite, which the governors and these business guys, they just form about 1% of the 1% of our population. They are not much. These movers and shakers that we are talking about, they are in the minority, while the poor and less privileged Nigerians are in the majority. Then, if God so kind with us, these people, these poor people say, oh, let us take our destiny in our own hands in 2027 and side with the ADC. Haven't the ADC won the election? That is a yes. So let us leave that. It is left for Nigerians to choose in 2027. For us in the ADC, we are trying to bring out policies, good manifestos that will endear to the heart of the people. And God helping us. For me, one thing is to campaign, the other thing is to win election, while there's another thing to implement electoral promises. Unlike what the APC did, that when they came into power, they were unable to implement their change mantra. And on the first day of the inauguration of this presidency, it took Nigeria 20 years behind, because before his inaugural speech, fuel was about 200 and below. But immediately, in reaction to his statements, everything went berserk. So let's trust the process. ADC is going to come with their policy program, and I believe that the way we are going to sell it to the people of Nigeria are going to key to it, because we are here for a people-oriented rescue mission, and we are going to liberate Nigeria, inshallah.
All right, thank you so much for that. Just one more, just a follow-up question to you before I come to Prince Ahano to here in the studio with us. Do you think the reason why this coalition is being formed is because the ADC has the interest of the people at heart, or are they just key on just taking out power from the current sitting government because they feel like he has done too much? Because when you come to think about it, the people that are forming the coalition in ADC do not have, so to say, clean records. We have the
now.
No, hold
in response to that question.
Okay. Go on.
In response to that question. Now, if you look at the character and capacity of the people within the ADC, you will notice that some of these people have conflicting characters. These are people that should have never agreed in the first place.
Okay, please hold your thought. We have a caller. Sorry, hold your thought. We have a caller. You would go on. Yeah, good morning.
I've said something before.
Okay.
Concerning this political election. Hello?
Yeah, go on. We can hear you. Share your thoughts with us.
Okay, thank you very much. Please, this election 2027, what the APC should be doing now is to make sure that the vote people are going to vote counts. Because 2023, Tulumbu did not do. How are we sure? I am asking my brother over there that when we vote for APC, because every normal human being in this country knows that APC has failed. And they themselves, they know that have failed. Whether you like it or not, they know very well. So what they are doing now is to use this type of life to use those music against the people to pressurize people to do what they want them to do. So what we should be planning now is how to make sure that our vote counts in 2027. If it takes you people to go and vote Trump and the Vice President America to come to help us, so that our vote will count, please do it. But looking at this about and this human being in this country, I tell you, even if you win, they will collect it from you and you go to court. And you see that court has been taken. Nigerian court has been taken by the APC government. The army has been taken by the police, has been bought by APC. Everything, APC has bought everything. So there is nothing on everybody's side.
All right. Thank you.
So
Thank you.
looking at this presidential election, let us know what to do. Even if we start now to try and say, foreign this and let them come and help.
All right. Thank you
So
so
that
much.
if we vote, they will announce the winner.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Ikechukwu, for your thoughts. Thank you so much. Mr. Godstein, please go ahead as you conclude with your thoughts.
No, very quickly to the caller, I want to assure him that before the election in 2027, the ADC are going to put a lot of strategies into place. We are going to reach out to more people, more opposition stakeholders ahead of the election, and we are going to put strategies on ground to curtail all of these errors. Be rest assured that once you vote for us 2027, your vote is going to count and we are going to form the next government. Now to your question, if you notice the kind of people within the ADC at this moment, you notice that they have conflicting characters. I, for one, as an individual, I've never felt that there will be a day I will be in the same party with Atiku Abubakar. I have never felt it. And the natural me won't do it, but we are here to rescue Nigeria. That is why we need both the good, the bad, and the ugly to come together. Because now, why you need light to chase away darkness, you need an expert in the darkness business to tell you the secrets that they have been using for you to effectively chase them out. Now, this darkness you are talking about, once you accept them, you go into a refining process. So from now to the election, we are going to do a lot of orientation. We are going to talk to people. There is a reason for Nigerians to doubt us, which is fine. It is understandably. We are going to prove their doubts. We are going to prove their doubts wrong and tell them, no, we will not build assurance, we will not build trust before that very election. One thing is certain, and that which is certain is that there will be a reorientation and we are going to form the next government. Because now, what we are doing it out of a selfless interest. We want to side with the people. We want to make sure that this party aligns with the interest and the ambition of the ordinary Nigeria. And that will show in our policy statements ahead of the election. And with the way at which and manner at which we are going to go about it, we are still going to reach out to more people, appealing to more Nigerian opposition figures to join the movement. Because if we do not unite, there is no way we can be able to move away these political hyenas and jackals from Aso Rock in 2027.
All right, thank you. Okay, you have a follow-up question for him, okay?
Do you think Nigerians are ready for this? Because the last caller said all these people has been bought. The police, the courts, the army. Are Nigerians ready for the change that we need? Because it's change that we need.
We are going. That is where reorientation comes into place. I spoke earlier on. I spoke about reorientation, and after reorientation, we will not come forward to build the confidence of the people. Now, under no circumstances must we lose hope. It's no far that majority of these parastatals has been bought, which is ready. I have involved myself in the protest. I have been arrested. My car has been taken away. I have been shot. I have experienced this firsthand. But should we give up? The answer is no. In our preaching parlance, say give up, no showing. We must reclaim that which is ours. We must liberate Nigeria. Nigeria is a virgin land. Nigeria is somewhere that you can just wake up one morning and become a successful person. Anything you do in Nigeria prospers. Why do you want to leave Nigeria into ruin because you just have 1% of the 1% selfish elite trying to hold us hostage? No. We must stand our ground. Now, to the police, these people have also been affected. Go to all police barracks across the country. You see that they are dilapidated and abandoned places. We have to reorient them. No, you don't have to still ballot for these people. Look at the judges.
All right, Mr. Godson.
It is also evident in their life. So a lot of reorientation is going to go happen before that election, and we are going to build the confidence of the people. We have to make them understand, no, this is the reason why you must stand with us at this time.
All right, Mr. Godstein, we appreciate your passion and your zeal to see Nigeria stand again. And we'll return back to you, but let's come to Mr. Kennedy, who is the National Youth Leader of the Labour Party. Before now, we had the man of the moment, with you in your party, the person of President Peter Obi, who was your former presidential candidate, and he gave lots of hope to Nigerians. And it was Labour Party as of 2023 was a movement that everyone stood with, and right now, the man we all stood with has also disembarked from the Labour Party and is now in coalition with the EDC. What impact do this have on your party or in the forthcoming 2027 election?
Well, you see, there is one experience that Nigerians have been having over the years, and it's been difficult to come out of it. And what we do is that every 4 years, some airlights conspire, come together to take over power. We don't look at institutional sustainability and development. Last election, it was about Labour Party.
Yeah.
In 2014, it was about APC.
Yeah.
Before that, it was about PDP.
Yeah.
Now, do you know that PDP does not have a building of their own?
That's true.
Now, do you know that APC that is ruling Nigeria now, up till now, how many years, don't have a building of their own, that this is owned by the ruling party? Do you know that this ADC that we are celebrating, in fact, as a young man, I look forward to Nigeria working in my time.
Yeah.
So no matter how it happens, I will be happy that Nigeria is working. I've given 10 years into a full-time partisan politics since 2016. And I can tell you that there are a lot of rotten in there. It is not about the politics. It's about the people involved in that politics. And I repeat, we have leaders that are insincere, insensitive. If you said you are sincere, I mean, look at the compilation of the people in the coalition. We have a presidential candidate that ran against the elites.
Yeah.
And
he came victorious.
We won that, like my brother acknowledged. That election was won. Clearly. But because somebody told me, one of the big boys in the country told me that Peter Obi does not have a gatekeeper. That was why he was not declared a president. Now, if he had had a gatekeeper and he won that election, those gatekeepers will tell him all the oil well in the Niger Delta. Leave it for me.
All right.
I will produce the minister of this. I will produce the minister of this. These are what the gatekeepers would have done to him. Now, I will wait, and I will urge Nigerians to wait. Let's look at the drama. The moment the gatekeepers is now working with an ADC, the moment he wins the election, their interests must be protected. Because one of the Nigerian leaders also told me, we interact with them. There is no enmity. You forget this thing that Nigerian youths do. We meet with most of them in ADC coalition. I've met with them. I flew nothing less than 50 times or 40 times with His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi. I've slept in the same hotel with him. I interacted with him on a personal ground. I've met Chibika Amechi. I've met majority of them in that ADC. I've interacted with them. And you know what they say? That Peter Obi demonized them in 2023 and made himself the only saint they have in Nigeria. That is why they can't support him. And now, they are in the same platform with him. People like Erufai, people like Malami, who stole Nigeria to a stupor. Are you getting it? Allegedly, because his investigation is still going on. We have people like Atiku Abubakar. Men, I say, if we are serious as a younger generation, it shouldn't be about these men. In fact, as far as I'm concerned, anything that is not going to be a leader that is between 50 years and 40 years, forget about it. These men who are interested in protecting their interests, they are interested in protecting their ego. They are interested, there is no hope for ordinary citizens, ordinary youths that is given birth, that is from a nowhere. There is no hope in that coalition. Look at it. For example, they've taken the structure. Who will bring the national chairman? Who will bring the national secretary? Who is the national this? Who is this? They have shared it among themselves. If you remember, the people that joined Peter Obi to the obedience that joined Peter Obi, at some point they started crying because they are common people. They were not former this and former that. They started crying that we were not captured in the power sharing in ABC. Nobody is looking at us. No, we were not given positions because the established politician who understands the game have taken over the structure of ADC. The chairmen there are owned by people. The state chairmen are owned by certain politicians.
Yeah.
The state secretaries are owned by certain and that was the difference in Labour Party. And that is why the Labour Party seems to be going down now. Because the Labour Party is made up of leaders, structures that we are not imposed by anybody. I was never recommended as a national leader by anybody. And therefore, no politician will have control of me. I will be left to make my decision to support our candidate. And the same thing with every other leader in the Labour Party. So after that 2023, the normal balance in Nigeria make we put our own people started. That was when Labour Party started having issue. Because the basic problem of Labour Party is the problem of structure. The moment people want governors, people want elections, they say that I change my ward chairman. I want to bring somebody. Change my local government chairman. That was the foundation of the problem we are seeing today in Labour Party.
Okay, sir. With this that you have said, we realize that the only standing governor right now in the Labour Party is the governor of Abia State. What is the party doing to actually see that it's still secure? Is because I've heard from trusted stakeholders in the APC government that he is not coming back. They are going to do everything within their power to see that he doesn't win his. So what is the party putting in place to see that he keeps his seat again?
At some point within the past few months, I almost resigned my position from politics. And I can say it, I'm saying it on TV, on set. Why? Because good men, politics will make them look evil. And the sincere ones are the ones that suffer most in politics. I know what I'm saying from my experience. Dr. Alex Oti, for me, is doing well for the people of Abia State. Comparatively, when you look at the previous administrations, he's doing well. But he involved himself into this structure politics. Dr. Alex Oti won an election. The first thing he requested from the party is remove the state chairman who worked with me to win an election. He now brought his brother, Emma Oti, and make him state chairman in Abia State. You see, we must understand that governance and politics is two different things. If you remember in Nigeria, when things were working, a national chairman is bigger than a president. It was Obasanjo that changed it. If you can remember, when he visited Aduogbe, I say, I want to eat pounded yam with you. And the wife prepared pounded yam, and after eating, Obasanjo put hand in his pocket and brought out a resignation letter and asked Aduogbe, please sign this thing. With army, if you don't sign it, we'll arrest you, please sign. That day was the end of political institutions sustainability in Nigeria. That was when you become president, you are now the leader of the party. When you become governor, you are now the leader of the party. Forgetting that it's people that made you the king. They don't matter again. They will come and worship you as their Lord and personal Savior. That is the problem of our Labour Party, our dear Labour Party. I've been there for 10 years. And I took time to read the manifestos and all the constitution of all the political parties in Nigeria in 2016 before I pinched my tent with the Labour Party. I became a ward secretary of the party in a ward. I became a local government secretary of the party. I became director of ICT of the party. I became deputy national secretary of the party. And I became the national leader of the party. You see how I grew within the past 10 years in the party. That is how institutions should work. Today, they have taken over a political structure that somebody was the national chairman for 20 years. Mosu was the only person that we are running the ADC for the past 20 years. Is it good? No. It was not fair. But these men have seen that there is a level of understanding between him and them and Wosu. And Atiku took over the structure. And now bringing in people. That is why I pity somebody like His Excellency Mr. Peter, because the way Nigerian youth have taken him and now looking at him going back to be dining with these people, with this kind of people, it makes me fear. If leaders are actually sincere, because how can I use this my mouth now? The mouth I used to campaign in 2023,
2023.
calling Erufai,
Yeah.
calling Atiku Abubakar
Yeah.
structure of criminality.
And then
What mouth will I still use now
So
to say they are like my brother? I wish we are in the same environment. I would
Yeah.
have loved to sit
Interact
down with him
with
and interact with him. He said that when light wants to overcome darkness,
need
that he
darkness.
needs some symptom of darkness in the light. That thing got me mad.
all right.
No, wait.
Sir.
You see, let me tell you, the Bible is very clear about darkness and light.
light.
They have no relationship.
Yeah,
You
because
cannot bring them
yeah,
together.
yeah.
Darkness is darkness,
Light
light
is
is light. And anywhere light appears, darkness disappears.
all right.
Sir.
So they don't have to
we
partner.
because of our time, please.
I was
because-
just are you allegedly saying that if ADC comes into power, that it might be a repetition
of what is
APC?
happening.
Look, let me
of
tell
what
you,
is happening.
I can 80% guarantee you that as long as people like Atiku Abubakar, Erufai,
Erufai,
Malami,
yeah,
okay,
and
Areboshola,
Amechi.
Chika Amechi are in that place. They have shared every position.
Oh.
And even if they want to say we are giving it to His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi
Yeah.
to be the presidential candidate,
be
he
controlled.
will be handicapped.
They will be controlled.
The best move was what he did in 2023, where he stood with ordinary Nigerians. People like my brother
Separated himself
that
from
said
it.
that they arrested him. I know the threats on my life. I know negotiations that I had. I know the money that were presented to me that I rejected as a national leader that did that campaign in 2023. Okay, I know the pressure I was under. So if he had wanted to do it again,
Okay.
using this, my brother in Delta, people that went into the trenches and fought, he would have stayed in Labour Party and not listened to those that are telling him Abre is a criminal, Abre is this,
Okay,
Kennedy is this, Kennedy is not a former governor, Kennedy is not a former minister, this person is not a former this. He would have
Okay,
stayed
sir, because
and find a way
of our time,
to consolidate on the party.
Mr. God's time, because of our time, please give us your last words in 30 seconds, please.
30 seconds will not be enough because I'd love to debunk some of the statements of my brother.
Okay, I'll give you
live
1
in the
minute.
studio.
Take
And
60
one of-
seconds. 60 seconds.
I understand his emotions and all of that, and his fear are not out of place. However, earlier when I was speaking, I spoke about reorientation and building of trust, and I want to leave him with the fact that we are going to build more trust, and it's going to be very clear to our people that in 2027 that ADC is the best alternative. After our primaries, when our candidates emerge, Nigerians will embrace the ADC at that time. But then again, he made mention of institutional hijack and all of that, that the Labour Party people that came in were not accommodated. That is false. Even before Mr. Peter Obi, Mr. Peter Obi arrived at the party, he has sent names of people in the national ESCO from inception of the coalition. That is a statement of fact. I will put it as a research topic for my brother, the youth leader of the Labour Party, to go and find that. Then, saying that there's no place for ordinary Nigerians in the coalition, that is wrong. I don't know if you understand the distribution of powers and offices within the ADC at this moment. When you talk about, there's what they call statutory members of state leadership team. If the ADC was such a party that do not accommodate ordinary people, there would be no way I will be a member of the Delta state leadership team of the ADC at that time. I'm a member of the leadership team alongside Chief Great of Boru, Kempela, and other elite politicians. And 7 of us as young people are members of the committee by the accommodation of and the policy of the ADC from the national level, because there is a directive that whatever you are doing, you must carry at least 40 to 60% of young people along in whatever you are doing. That was why my name was able to feature there. Not just young people, they are also gender sensitive. And we must understand this fact. We must not move with the wrong rhetoric that there's no place for the common man. The ADC at this moment is a party of the commoners. This elite which we are seeing. Hello, can you hear me? This elite which you are seeing, they have now known that the people, the ordinary Nigerians, have now woken up and they want to carry them along in whatever they are doing. They want to work with us. That is why you see somebody like me as a member of the leadership. So thank you so much, Nigeria. Please, I want to encourage you people that please let us be courageous.
Thank
We
you.
must reclaim our
Thank you.
country, and
Thank
we
you
must do
so
that with
much.
hard
Thank
work
you.
and dedication.
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Prince
and God bless
Gostheim.
us all.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much, Prince Gostheim,
Have a
for
great time.
availing us your presence this morning. We hope to bring you just not quite long from now, and have you just express yourself much better, because just your last words in 30 seconds.
Thank you, ACNTV. You are doing wonders. And Nigerians, let's continue to keep faith in institutions. I don't want us to continue to worship individuals.
Yeah.
Let's begin to respect institutions of government. Let's strengthen institutions of government. When institutions are strong, our nation will be back on track. But when an individual is strong, that is something like what Soludo is doing will continue to happen.
All right.
And what the president is doing will continue to happen.
Thank you so much, Michael Anchor. Your last words in 30 seconds.
Please, Nigerians, we can get it right. Please don't go for the person that will give you 5,000 and you will end up facing what we are facing now. Please get up and do the right thing. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, our viewers, for staying tuned with us this morning. Thank you so much, Prince Kennedy Ahano, to the National Youth Leader of the Labour Party, for joining us this morning. And also thank you for joining us virtually all the way from Delta State, Prince Gostheim. We appreciate your presence. And also Michael Anchor for steering the ship with me. Thank you. As we wrap up this morning edition of Now Streaming, one thing is clear. Nigerians' challenges are complex, but they are not disconnected. Infrastructural development must meet security realities. Economic reforms must consider the daily struggles of citizens. And power, security, and governance must work together if real progress is to be felt beyond policy statements. The conversation must continue, not just in government offices, but among citizens, institutions, and leaders at every level. Thank you for joining us this morning on Now Streaming. I am Somtochukwu Okizo. Have a prosperous day, and God bless Nigeria.